Okay, use of perfect enlightenment and wisdom to transform those with limited capabilities. So the one that perfect enlightenment is obviously the Tathagata or the Buddha, and obviously with the perfect enlightenment, obviously he perfect with compassion and true principles with that of wisdom. So these two are very important: compassion and wisdom, or essentially virtues and wisdom. So therefore, what it's trying to say is that what we need to do in our practice is to grow in virtues and wisdom, first thing. Second thing is that we need to evolve in virtues and wisdom. What does evolving in virtues and wisdom mean? Is to grow in perfection of virtues and wisdom. So therefore, if we take on this life and say that we are in practice, we suppose we get into the practice to be ever progressive, lifetime after lifetime. That progression of that practice can only arise if we practice into the mind continuum. Now, practice into the mind continuum requires us to grow our practice in this life into the higher consciousness, which means that practice, we have to bring our practice up into the seventh consciousness, which means that this life means that we have to take on those virtues to change our character. So the sign of changing the character is a sign of progression in our practice. Okay. So until perfection, perfect enlightenment is reached. But then they say the playful sensible use set off the sparks. That means people, those who are the ordinary beings, and hopefully for us, we have realized what we have been doing. So therefore we wake up and practice onto the path. As the fire surrounded them, they did not know, feel shock or fear. And that is about the ignorance of for us. So my sharing today is very short. So on the slides, I have only 3 slides. So Master went on talk about the power of listening to the Dharma, and that power of the listening of the Dharma is to have the focus of the mind. And so therefore, when we listen to the Dharma, how do we then take on the Dharma inside us? So therefore, if we listen to Dharma, when we hear the Dharma, we only hear the sound of the Dharma. But listening to the Dharma is to listen not just to the sound or hear the sound, but listen to the heart, listen with your heart. So therefore, but how can the heart listen? Now that's the part where remember I just said about evolving in the practice. So when you evolve in the practice, normally when you listen to Dharma, we listen with what we call the external faculties. The external faculties are our 6 senses, right? So the ears is only one of the senses, external faculty. But if you develop your inner faculty, you go into inner listening of the Dharma. So each time when you listen to the Dharma, you listen to the essence of those words and not just the words per se. Okay. So this, but then this one is a long discussion, but probably this is what we got to very be aware of. That's why in the practice, it's very important that there are 2 skills, if you like, that we need to practice. One is awareness, the other one is mindfulness. It's from that awareness of that listening is the one that is can progress you to the inner listening. Okay. So the external listening, inner listening. And this is exactly what Ananda was in. So when Ananda listened, he actually listened to the inner listening, and not just, we won't just listen with one we just hear, you will feel that the pain there, but the inner listening is the one that takes you into your higher level of consciousness to be able to absorb the Dhamma. And that's the one that get embedded into your inner self. And that is what we should be doing. But this one obviously takes a longer practice. So we need to dissolve our affliction. Because people cling on to the four inverted views and five aggregates, it's hard for them to pass through the Dhamma door. Just as it says, the door is narrow, which I extracted with you all yesterday, that so long as we have these four inverted views and five aggregates. So for example, the four inverted views that is about impermanent, we take it as permanence. How can we then take the permanence out of that door? It's like there's a fire going on, we got to rush out the door and we got to bring all our possession, we got our tables, our chairs and everything out. Door is impossible. So these four inverted views, it's about all the worldly minds, all the mundane consciousness that we have attached to all the worldly ways of things, and therefore, because the door is narrow, we can't go out. So the only door is only wide enough for our pure consciousness, if you like, to get through that door, or the pure nature for us to get through that door. So what are the lessons learned from today? We need to listen well. And therefore, what are we listening to? So therefore, we need to understand that all spoken words are worldly creation of sounds. So when worldly creation of sound is good enough, you see, words can describe what it is not. But the words, or worldly words, is inadequate to describe what it is. Therefore, to understand the truth within those words, we have to go into inner listening of the Dhamma. So what is the source of our afflictions? Our afflictions is from the heart and the mind. And that's the reason why we need to understand ourselves. And our heart is encrusted with all the desires. And our mind is being obscured by delusion and ignorance. And therefore, we need to peel off layer by layer. Obviously, it takes time, and the teacher must always say it takes a lifetime to practice. It takes a lifetime to do that. So therefore, we got to do that gradually. You know, you cannot rush. I want to be enlightened by end of this life. Well, okay, it is possible. It is possible, but then if you got to ask yourself, that's why I say we limited capabilities. So I recognize myself. I have limited capabilities. I try to know my weakness. I try every morning when I do my prayers before the start of my sharing with you. I reflect upon myself and to be able to recognize my own thoughts and try to purify my thoughts during the day. But if you ask me whether it's possible for a householder to be enlightened in my lifetime, I mean, the answer is yes. Has it been done before? The answer is yes. A very good example is Mila Rapa, who was enlightened in this one lifetime as a lay practitioner. And we all know the Master Vilama Kirti, also lay person, is as a holder in practice. But then the thing is that he is so replete with virtues and wisdom that even Sariputra was fearful in meeting up with him. But I think for us, we have to try as much as possible the best way we can. And it's like a butterfly, you know, when a butterfly comes out from this cocoon as a pupa, it takes time for the wings to dry up. You cannot push the butterfly out, because if you push the butterfly out, the wings will get distorted, it can never fly. So it takes time for the wings to dry, and when the butterfly to emerge from the cocoon and fly off. So in much of the same way, it takes time for us. So we need to get rid of self-cherishing thoughts. These self-cherishing thoughts are what it is about everything about myself. I want to be in that position. I want to be recognized. All these are worldly, all these are all mundane consciousness. So even when we practice, we must be very, very mindful that in a practice, we try to grasp on. They want to be recognized by the family members and so on and so forth. And so the practice is not just about living the worldly life. Even within the practice, there can be a lot of grasping going on. We need to recognize that. Now, so the spirit journey is long, but know that the wise one travels light. So contemplate on that line. So, and Master saying today, spiritual practice cannot wait. So to every moment and I try to do that at the start of each day and try to reflect throughout the day. So very short in contemplation. Hearing is from the sound of spoken words. Listening is the inner understanding of the spoken speech. Therefore, listen to the silence of the spoken words. And relationship, very short. How can one listen and learn when the mouth is open? Okay, with that note, thank you, brothers and sisters. That's all I have.
And so much, Brother Chin, for the wonderful sharing. Okay, can we take a group photo before Brother Chin and Sister Siu Ping leave us? Everyone, please on your video. Just grab a group photo of all of us. Yeah, Sister Yvonne walking in the dark. Be careful, Yes. Okay.
Short and sweet today.
Yes.
I'm not so it was sweet, but short.
Yes, intriguing. Always very joyful to listen to Brother Chin.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brother Chin. Yeah, thank you so much, the Siu Ping and Sister Ping, for the wonderful sharing. Okay, let us continue. We have one sister or brother, Dana, or no more. Is still with us or no more? Okay. Can we maybe hear a few words from Sister Boy? Sister Boy, are you able to share a few words? Sister Boy, Sui Kam.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Brother Robert.
Yeah.
Today, I hear Master saying about the door, narrow door, and because for me, I just listen and my understanding is not that good. You see. Anyway, more I understand that we need to be focusing and concentrating what Master's been teaching us.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I try to concentrate very hard, but to understand it is quite tough, you see. So I think that is my sharing. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much, Sister Boy, for being so diligent every day to come and join us. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, continue. Yeah, maybe we hear a few words from Sister Winnie Ng. Sister Winnie, are you with us? Sister Winnie. Okay, otherwise then we'll move on to maybe Sister Effie. Good morning, Sister Effie.
Good morning, Brother Robert and brothers and sisters. Good morning. My take today is the narrow door. The narrow door is the analogy that all of us must escape from that to reduce our baggages of afflictions in order to escape from the fire, the burning house. In other words, whether we want a sunny day or a rainy day is all in the mind, created by our mind. So understanding that the Dharma is important to change our four inverted views. We are holding on to four inverted views of permanence, self-purity, and so we have to move away from that to enhance our cultivation to nurture our wisdom and compassion. Importantly, Master was saying that in the olden days, people have high regard in morals, upholding morals and filial piety, example, as compared to in this modern era, where all these moral values are deteriorating. So, because many of us are very busy in pursuing our for the betterment of our life, so we tend to have overlook the spiritual part of us. So, but then Master was saying that it's important that spiritual cultivation or knowledge cannot wait. We must also spend time. So many times when we, because the topic today is enlighten oneself and enlighten others. So actually, when we try to inspire others, as example through the Jingsu Hall tour, the brief tour for visitors. So there's one platform that we can do to spread some seeds, small seeds for those visitors. But whether they are able to manifest immediately, it all depends on the capability, their capacity of their understanding, and also their needs at the moment. This is my small sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, Gan En for your sharing. Yeah, Gan En so much. Yeah. Okay, can we hear a little bit maybe from Sister Chui Mun? Sister Chui Mun, good morning.
Morning, brothers and sisters.
Morning.
Today, the story of the Ananda's boil and and Buddha's distracting him with Dharma talk. To me, it's like, it's much like a doctor who is like healing the boil. The boil is caused by a lot of external things, right? Maybe we didn't eat right. Maybe it's attack internally by germs and things like that. So it's in the same way, our mind is also constantly distracted, attacked by all kinds of unhealthy thoughts that comes naturally in afflictions and things like that. But in our spiritual practice, that we are always trying to lighten the burden in our mind, much as we try to lighten our body from physical illness. So how to lighten our worries and everything? So if we can use, every day we are listening to Dharma. We are listening to Dharma because we say, oh, maybe this is a way out of finding some peace, in this surroundings where there's so much suffering for ourselves, suffering from others. So I think that the story here is telling me that Dharma, we should use the Dharma to lighten our mind from afflictions, lighten our mind by understanding why we are suffering, in much the same way that the doctor lightens your body from pain. Yeah. So I think that Buddha has, in this way, shown us that as long as we keep trying every day in our own small way, to understand this, then we will be able to lighten little by little this burden. As Dr. Chin said, we try to travel light, and Dharma is the only way that will show us how to travel lighter and lighter as we go through life. Yeah. Gan En.
Yeah, Gan En. The Chui Mun, for your wonderful sharing. Yeah. Okay, can we hear a few words from Sister Irene? Sister Irene, good morning.
Good morning, Brother Robert, brothers
Morning.
and sisters. Yeah, this morning, I also hear, which I also aware myself that everyone got own habitual tendency, because I also keep looking back at my own habitual tendencies, things that I couldn't let go the baggage yet. And also I see myself 2016 when I encountered this Dharma first time in my life in Tzu Chi. I actually have this thirst and hungry to learn, but however, due to limited capacity, um, even though listen, uh, does it really go into my heart? I'm asking myself, does the Dhamma really go into me? How can I improve and how can I retain? Just like what Sister Boy shared, I also share the same thought. I can listen, but maybe due to the capacity of the mind narrow yet, I couldn't grasp everything. So the only thing is to keep trying and trying, and hopefully one day I can capture everything. And just now when I hear Sister Kaping say, initially she jot down 2 words, not just initially myself, now until now. Sometimes when I try to jot down notes, before the sentence disappear in the screen, sometimes I write halfway, I also forgot the other balanced sentence already. So very limited, must really concentrate more. Cultivation is a long time process and depend on capacity. Yeah, and thank you.
Yeah, that's Irene. Yes, let us yes keep opening this door of our mind, yes, slowly, and eventually, to accept this great Dharma. Yeah. Okay, can we maybe hear a few words from Sister Li En Tong, Sister Tzu Chi? Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Robert. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Really very grateful for the everyday very good insights. Today, I'm also very grateful to Master for sharing so many examples. Because when it comes to drawing, it's easier when there is
Analogies.
there are stories. See Master talking about the children playing foolishly, still holding on the spot and playing, and the pulse on Ananda's body, and the Cheng Yen who can write with his leg. Now I'm very grateful this story, because in the past I heard it piecemeal, because we heard about this person helping to on the 寻法香 every morning, but each time Master said 多用心 only the person will wake up. Means once the person starts the 寻法 the telecommunicate, I think the online with Taiwan, the person will doze off until when Master said 多用心, then the person will wake up. So now I realize this is the person. Wow, this person even without born without hands. Cheng Yen, he was abandoned by the parents and adopted by another couple. Because of Tzu Chi, he's helping the 3-in-1 team. 真的是很不可思议. See the focus once we have it. I mean, of course, this guy is must have planted past good seeds as well as maybe some not so good baggage. But this life, we could see that he could transform. When people heard about, imagine the people, those able-bodied heard about triangle, they draw the triangle, one volunteer, but he could understand, penetrate the essence. That's why Brother Joe always said that it's not the wording that we are attached for, but the word, the essence. So Brother Joe always salute the Africans, volunteers, as well as I think those who cannot really understand Minnan, because for us it's deeper. We have to use the eyes to listen and the ears to see. So that's the reason why this Cheng Yen, he could understand that it's not really the triangle, the 3 elements of enlightenment. Yeah, indeed, the learning, like Brother Chin said, is the mind that we are cultivating, not really merely the actions. And Sister Moon, a lot of brothers sisters also mentioned indeed it is a continuous cultivation. Sister Irene, you are not the only one. In fact, I must confess, when I learned Master's teaching, despite knowing it is wondrous, in fact, it is very wonderful. It is like medicine. Every time I'm sick, to me, it's like application of medicine. Never in my mind that I'm thinking that I could attain Buddhahood. In fact, I just very cherish opportunity to serve. My priority first is to serve and could apply the medicine. That's the two things. Until when I heard Master mention about adopting the 4 great vows. In fact, it is Brother Joe that awakened me. Brother Joe said each word, there are the 4 great vows, right? Each time he bow, he said he will chant the great vow. So I also, I think back in 2016, Brother Joe shared that already. So I followed him. A bit, I like to, I try to follow, emulate Brother Joe also in all these good actions. Then I found out, the last sentence is like attaining Buddhahood means it also must be part of it. It's not merely to serve the masses, to severe my afflictions. Attaining Buddhahood should be one of the great vow. So that is a bonus to me if, if I could attain it. So we are very blessed. You see, not only we could attain, we could help other people, we could severe our afflictions, we could learn all these innumerable teaching, we also attain Buddhahood. 真的是很感恩，好感恩。Back to Brother Robert, and maybe each of us, may all of us could attain these 4 great vows. It's a continuous process. Let us not remember and bring it to us life after life and make this no longer a narrow door but a bigger door. 好，感恩。
Thank you so much, Tzu Chi. Tzu Chi is really our living example and good role model, and how this Min you just suddenly pop, and then she can understand it clearly, and lead us all this platform of Xun Fa Xia. Yeah, thank you so much, Tzu Chi. Yeah, thank you to all the brothers and sisters for your wonderful sharings and insights. Okay, let us continue to pursue, to use wisdom and love to eliminate afflictions and ignorance. And let's continue to learn from each other and cultivate together diligently. So we shall see each other again tomorrow morning. So in the meanwhile, have a good day. Om Tao Fo. Take care, everyone. Take care.
Okay, Gan En.
Yeah.
Gan En.
Continue
Bye-bye.
with your
Take
walk.
care.
Yes, Sister Yvonne. Okay, Gan En.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye.